All right, welcome into Studio de Jeffrey. Everybody, it's nice to see you. It's Jeffrey time. Got my G-Bag t-shirt on today, if you can see that. Welcome in. Today, what I want to talk about is one of the common criticisms of this Cowboys season that I see from a lot of folks on the internet. And I'd like to dispel a rumor. DeMarcus Lawrence had 5 sacks this year. Was he good at football this year? Did he have a good season for the Cowboys? Let's go through that, shall we? Because I hear that he was terrible and he's stealing money. Only getting 5 sacks. Robert Quinn's over here getting, what do you have, 11 or 12? Robert Quinn is over here killing the game. Where you at, Tank? Stealing money. Well, he wasn't. So let's go through this real quick. What is Tank Lawrence's job? Tank Lawrence's job on every play. If you say his job is to sack the quarterback, I think that's our first problem. If you say his job is to sack the quarterback, because Tank had 5 sacks this year. He rushed the quarterback about 400, I think it's like 416 times. So I'm not going to do that percentage right now. But you want to grade a football player on whatever percent that is of his plays? 5 out of 416? What if he had a good year? What if he had like 10 sacks, right? So hey, we're just going to grade guys on like 1% of their job is what we're going to do. You didn't sack the quarterback enough? Let's go through what did Tank Lawrence do this year. How was Tank Lawrence this year? Let's go through this. Number 1, Tank Lawrence as a run defender. There were 2 guys in the entire NFL that played a bunch of snaps. There were a couple guys that didn't play a bunch of snaps that are filtered in here, but we don't care about that. We're talking about guys that actually play a bunch of snaps. Trey Flowers and Joey Bosa are the only guys that had a higher run stop percentage amongst guys that play on the edge, defensive end, outside linebacker, whatever. So Tank Lawrence was the 3rd best run defender playing an end spot in the NFL. That's pretty good, right? Is that part of his job? Look, I'm the king of the running back doesn't matter very much, but the running game is important. When teams are going to run the ball 20 or 25 times a week, I would sure like my defenders to be ready to handle that. Now, when it comes to stopping the run, I had the picture ready, but I forgot to cue it up. So I'll just walk you through this because this is from John Owning. He posted from Warren Sharp's football stats. When teams ran the ball against the Dallas Cowboys, if they ran it outside left, the offense is outside left. That's not where Tank is. That's Robert Quinn's side and then whatever. They average 4.6 yards per carry if they go outside to the left. 4.1 yards per carry if they go at the left tackle. 4.1. That'd be where Robert Quinn's lined up most of the time. If they go at the left guard, 4 yards per carry. If they go at the center, 4.6 yards per carry. Right up the gut, baby. Nose tackleville. 4.6 yards per carry. Then if you go to the right guard, now we're getting close to Tank now. Tank's out there by the right tackle. You're getting close to Tank now. If you run at the right guard against the Cowboys, 3.6 yards per carry. If you run at the right tackle, that's right at Tank. Directly at Tank. 2.7 yards per carry when you run at Tank. So again, 4.6, 4.1, 4.0, 4.6, 3.6, 2.7. Tank. If you go outside to the right, you get 4 yards per carry. So Tank Lawrence is one of the premier run defenders in the league. Now, are you paying $20 million a year for a premier run defender? Probably not. Is it fair to say you wish that Tank Lawrence had ended up sacking the quarterback 5 more times this season? Sure. But just realize that you are talking about 1% of his snaps. Like, man, I wish we'd had a different result 1% of the time. That would have been amazing. And the outlying numbers when it comes to pass rushing for Tank Lawrence, for instance, let's go to hurries. How often did a guy hurry the quarterback? Tank had 39 hurries this year. If you want that number to be 5 higher in his 400 pass rush snaps, okay. Like, I'm cool with that. If you say I'm disappointed that somehow, some way, Tank didn't end up finishing with a sack a few more times this year, that's cool. That's fine. That's not totally unfair. What would be totally unfair would be somebody that says he didn't have a good year, or especially he had a bad year, when like those hurries, that lines up right with, let me make sure I get my players in line here. It's 6 more than Robert Quinn, 2 less than Trey Flowers, 4 less than Everson Griffin. Joey Bosa had 42 to Lawrence's 39. Shaq Barrett, who has 20 sacks this year, had 43 hurries to Tank's 39. So just realize that sometimes it's dumb luck. The dude is out there playing harder than anybody, stuffing the run left and right, and he's pressuring the quarterback right up where he's supposed to be with a bunch of other elite NFL players. And oh, by the way, Pro Football Focus grade of Tank Lawrence this year, 86.3, which makes only Zach Martin on the entire roster better than him, according to their grading, which we know I go back and forth with that stuff. But in general, really good players will probably grade really well. And Tank grades as elite. So, yes, he had 5 sacks, and no, he didn't have a bad year. Got it, Cowboy fans? Subscribe to the YouTube page. How many sacks should Tank have had? And who's going to be playing D-end opposite him next year? Leave that in the comments on the YouTube page. Make sure you're checking out 1053thefan.com every day. I love you, and I'll see you on the radio in just a bit.